Hello, everybody. From what I can see, we are live, and it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to my online broadcast today on this Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. Today we are talking about organization, and today we are talking about schedules. Yeah, so this is probably the most popular problem I hear from people who are learning languages. They or want to learn a language. In this case, it's really more popular, yeah, for those who want. So I can't find the time. Or I also see a lot of situations when people lose motivation after a while and they can't finish, they feel frustrated with themselves, they feel guilty, and it leads to just dropping. Yes, you give up and you don't want to finish. Let's talk a little bit about technical stuff, because there are several aspects we could discuss in the process of your language learning. And today I will go through three main points. Yeah, so the first one is how it is connected with your motivation. The second is, do you really need a teacher? Do you need anybody else for your language learning, or you can do it completely alone? And the third point, I will be sharing different scenarios, different variants of your time scheduling, of your time organization, using experience of other language learners and of my own. My French is B2, my Polish is B2, my Spanish is somewhere between A2 and B1, and my German is still basic, so it's still A1 after a year and a half of studying. I will be comparing two perspectives. For me as a teacher, because I know what needs to be done theoretically, how the languages are learned, yes, and as a speaker, as a learner, and the continuous learner, yeah, so I'm still doing that, and I will share my experiences here, my personal experiences. And this year I was at two linguistic conferences, you can call them that. So first I was at a big teaching conference, TEFL in England, yes, it was in Scotland, sorry. So it is the biggest teaching event of the year, where we discussed how we can motivate our students, what are the best techniques for dealing with different elements and stuff. So they told us about the latest development in language teaching. But later, just I believe a month later, I went to the Polyglot gathering. It was in Bratislava, and it is an active community of polyglots, of people who speak, I believe, more than 5 foreign languages. Yes, so they are called polyglots, and there are a lot of them, and they're very active, both online and offline. And I was interested in their experience. I was interested in learning how they do that. And the thing which struck me most, what was the most surprising for me, when I was listening to the polyglots who were telling about their experiences, so theoretically, maybe they were not always right. It contradicted a little bit to the linguistic theory I know, and I was not, so sometimes it was surprising stuff for me. I didn't know about that before, maybe, yeah, really, I disagreed with that. But there were two things which were obvious. The first thing, they were successful because they were communicating to native speakers of different languages. So they were all speaking these languages. I could literally hear that. And the second thing, how much work they actually did, you know? So when every polyglot was giving a report on how he improves vocabulary, improves his listening skills, and so on and so on, I was always thinking, oh my God, I don't have time to do that. I don't do that. So, I mean, I am the laziest person in the room, because when you look at the amount of work they do, you understand why they can actually speak. I have a friend here in Poland, in Warsaw. He's an engineer, but he speaks, I believe, more than 12 languages. I think the last number was 12 languages. And you know what he does? So he never learns grammar. It is his position, it is his attitude to learn how to speak to people. So he has organized an online community of language learners, and they do free Hangouts, yes, Google Hangouts, weekly on every particular language. So they have the multilingual Hangout on Monday. I don't know how it works. I have never been to any of them, but then, for example, you have French Hangouts every Wednesday, Spanish Hangouts every Thursday, and so on and so on. And you know what? I have known him for more than 3 years. And for all these 3 years, I see this regularity, that he never skips a meeting. So these scheduling events are coming and coming and coming. Now let's try to count the amount of the number of hours, right? I mean, if you have been doing it consistently for several years, even without pushing it too hard with theoretical base, I don't know, with studying languages 20 hours a day or something like that, it will work. So today, again, we will be talking about consistency. Languages are not learned in a month. We can work with some particular problem, okay? Just, I don't know, I need to fix my listening skills. Yes, you want to learn how to understand the language. Yes, you will do it in a month of some number of studies, yes? But if we talk about reaching fluency from zero, it will take time. And here, the consistency is the most important thing. And I've been talking about it like many times, and I will continue talking about it. So it is not important if you last for a month intensively. Better last for a year, okay, but with low intensity. So 20 minutes a day, three times a week, in the course of a year will give more results to you than a month of daily 1 hour studies. So this is the thing which you need to remember. And from here, the question arises, do you really need that? If you are just doing it because everybody does it, it will not work. If you are just doing it because it's a good idea, it will not work. So the question of discipline, as I said, it all depends on your motivation and it all depends on your goal. Okay, so what kind of, yes, I mean, what pushes you? And I know that a lot of people use teachers as their discipline factors. And we think, okay, I don't have time, I can't force myself to do that, yeah? But, well, I will hire a teacher, I will have a regular schedule, and it will help. Well, yes, motivation is a part of our job description, but it doesn't always work. So in general, the role of a teacher for you is mostly to direct you and to show you where to go. So we are good at seeing where you are. Yes, we are very good at understanding your level, like speaking formally, but we understand your current situation with the language, and we can show you how to reach your goal, and we can recommend the best resources for that. And of course, we can be a support system throughout the way, but just the fact of having a teacher means actually nothing. And this is very important to understand because individual classes, one-to-one classes are very popular these days. Yes, so people say, okay, I prefer to study with the teacher one-to-one because all the attention will be directed to me. So when we are studying in a group, there are 6 of us, the teacher doesn't have time, so to say, and so on and so on. So here it will be all about me. Yes, I will direct all my attention to you, but who will do the actual work? I mean, yes, it's still you, with the direction, with the support, with the motivation, with the regularity, but it's still you. This is very important to understand at what stage you are, what method will work for you, okay, and also what resources will be the best for you. The teacher can help you with this vision, but you will have to do the work yourself. And now, yes, we will come down to our main question. So how to organize the time for language learning? I've already told you the rule of the thumb, yeah, the main rule here. It is very important to keep consistency. And it's better to do in smaller versions, yes, in smaller chunks, yes, so just small parts of time, but for a longer period of time, than to start working very intensively and then give up after a month. So there are different ways of organizing your time, but also the rule is that you need to make it a plan. Unfortunately, we can't do this in any other way. You should write it down, or you should make it a part of your schedule. Okay, so block off the time in your online calendar if you do, if you use the online calendar, or just make some notes. Okay, so like I will do that, that, and that. I tried different ways for my own practice, and we tried different ways for my students. Yes, so when we make the schedule for them, we also include extracurricular activity, we can say, so the independent work they will be doing themselves, yes, so additional to the classes. So some people block off regular time on a regular basis. I know a couple of polyglots who have 1 hour every day in the morning, and it is very effective for them. They do it regularly and they show good results. It doesn't work for me. I can't do mornings, and I can't do 1 hour every day. So it's too much. 7 hours a week, it's very much for me. I don't have so much time. I don't have so much energy. So I go for a more comfortable schedule for myself. So because you shouldn't force yourself, you shouldn't make yourself, it should be comfortable for you. And I always say that it's perfect, the scheduling is perfect if it doesn't disturb your everyday life, so it doesn't interfere with your life and you don't feel any extra effort, yeah, so you need to do to learn languages. So I tried different schedules. I tried, for example, studying only at the weekend. For a couple of years, I had Saturday morning completely free. Well, morning in my case until 1 p.m. something like that. So I never planned anything on that time because I stayed in. I had to lie in the bed and I studied languages. Then I had more work during the weekend. Now I don't do that because I work during the weekend. So I decided to block off, 1 hour 3 times a week in the evening. And to tell the truth, this is again quite difficult because I have 2 jobs. I have an online business. So in the evening, I am exhausted, honestly. So I can't do that. I know some people who can. And for example, if you choose, if we are not talking about reading or doing exercises, but people go to weekly meetings, yes, people go to language exchange in the evening. And for example, this works for them because after work they relax, they have a cup of coffee, they talk to people in different languages for 2 hours, and then they leave. And this proves to be very effective. So if you really go there weekly, it's free of charge, you don't pay anybody, but you improve. And you can improve many languages, yeah, because if it's a big exchange group, it means that you will meet speakers of different languages. I now do the following thing. I create a task list for the week. So for example, I want to work with one French dialect, so I listen to it, I practice it, I learn new phrases, I'm trying to say it out loud, for example. I read 10 pages of a Spanish book every week, for example, and I need to do my homework for German because now I'm working with a teacher. I need direction. Okay, that's why it is so slow, because I'm really undirected. I got lost in all the available apps or whatever, yes? So it's too much, you want to do everything and you end up doing nothing. So generally stick to free resources max, okay? Like if you, so maybe 2 free resources for one language, not more, because you will get lost, I promise. Shiny objects, yes, so memorize, Duolingo, like online courses, whatever, you will get lost. So stick to 2 free resources max per language. And in this case, yeah, I also do Duolingo for my German and for my Spanish. Generally, nothing is scheduled in my calendar because I am scared. I don't like calendars. I have classes. Yes, I don't like calendars. So, but I have a task list. And every time I have, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, I just do what I can do from my list. And this is how I organize it for myself. So German, 5 times Duolingo, for example, homework, yeah? French, 1 dialect, Spanish, 5 pages. And this is my task list when I'm free or when I'm in the mood, because you really want to enjoy it. If you don't want to go back to it, don't. Try to find another way. It will not work if you are not enjoying it. And I am just going, okay, to this. Okay, I can do that. Well, I have 20 minutes. I have my 20 minutes for the French dialect. And if you stick to it, or maybe if you adapt it, okay, so 5 times Duolingo, it was, well, too much last week. I will make it 4, and so on and so on. So at the end of the week, tomorrow on Sunday, I will review that. Okay, I have done that, I have done that, I have done that. And this is how I do that, and this is working very well for me now because I'm improving my French very intensively. I am improving my Spanish. I have just started speaking German after a month of classes with the teacher, because before it was very disorganized. Now I'm very directed, and now I know exactly what I can say, and this is helping. So my basic advice, try to keep it in writing or in your calendar, so make it visual, okay? Second, only do what's comfortable for you and forget about the guilt. The guilt will never help, so if you are not enjoying it, don't. Okay, the third, you can consult with a teacher at some stages for showing you your gaps, yes, what needs to be improved, and maybe to ask for the best resources. But don't think of a teacher as your final decision, because it will not help if you don't do actual work, okay? And the second thing, limit the resources. So these days, the problem is not to find good resources. The problem is really not to get lost, because there are too many, even for free, right? So 2 free resources per language maximum. In this case, if you stick to the plan and if you do it consistently, you will be improving. But again, at the end of the day, you need to understand where you are going. And we will be talking about that. Of course, I will be holding a goal setting, goal setting session in January. We will be talking about how to formulate your goal, where you're going, what is enough, and so on and so on. So we will come back to that. But this is what I have to say today about the scheduling decisions. So if you share your experience in the comments, or if you have any questions to ask me, please write and I will answer that. This video will be available for a week more on my Facebook page. So don't forget to follow, and thank you very much for watching.